Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week here with WWSS. We're at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing great this afternoon, Kevin. How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. I'm really excited for this one. This is one of the most fun tracks to watch. Just another Tuesday out here. And, I think we're in for a good one. I'm seeing a 32 car field. And, it's going to take a little bit longer than usual for these guys to pace around at the start of the race. Because it's so short. I know they're going to do a little drive through pits to make sure everyone knows their pit stall. Because, Luke, I think this is our first race of the season that has the double-sided pit stalls. And let me tell you, I've had my fair share of penalties trying to get in the right area.
Well, Kevin, as you know, I've had my fair share of getting penalties just on the ones that have the single pit sides, but I've had plenty more at the tracks with the dual sided as well.
Yeah, these guys have their hands full. We got 32 cars packed into a half-mile track here, so I think it's going to be a very, very interesting race. And I'm really excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely a short track for a large field of vehicles. It's going to be an interesting race out here.
Yeah, I'm getting a read that it's going to be lap 5 going green. I'll keep you updated on if that changes, but these guys are gonna, pace around, take a trip through their pit stall, and also we're gonna get the penalties dished out. I'm not sure if Omar and Connor Price has the EOLs that we've been seeing all week, but I would not be surprised if they do. But how about just getting started here on the grid? We got Dawson Price trying to hang on to his points lead here, putting it on the pole. Omar Rodriguez in the hunt, starting on his outside. Second row is going to be Matt Morrison and Christopher McCullough. Then Kyle Reynolds and Travis Farmer. Kean Fry and Connor Price. James Hudson and Nolan Gross. Jacob Petrosky and Aiden Stevens. Hunter Rizal and Nathan Swafford. Daryl Johnson and Blaze Billing. Nick Hames and Cooper Leardy. Justin Zemecki and Nicholas Warner. Ty Carino and Regan Shockley. Heath Job and Sean Merriman. Danny Barnes and Richard Elliott. Kyle Van Drunen and race winner from last week, Kenny McCullough. Matt Benke and Buster Malcolm, and Jeremy Osborne rounding out your 31 car field. 32nd car is going to be race control for the night, Logan Murray. But Luke, what's the strategy you got to kind of pay attention for here at such a short track? I know we just went from one end of the spectrum to the next, coming from a 2.67-mile track of Talladega to a very confined space. These guys are really going to have to flip it as far as, the way they're driving out here.
In my opinion, Kevin, I mean, obviously the big one's going to be staying out of the wrecks here. It's such a short track out here with such a large field. That's obviously one thing we're going to be concerned about no matter what. But I feel like one of the big major keys here is going to be staying on the lead lap out here, especially for the guys that are in the more contention spots here for the points.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing, that could go either way. We see often on these longer tracks, if you do get damage, you can clear it up and stay on the lead lap because it takes the pace car so long to get around. That's not the case here at Bristol. It's going to be very hard to clear up damage. And if we do get a long green flag run, with it only being half a mile and 15-second laps, things could get spread out real quick and we could see cars going down a lap real quick.
Yeah, it's no doubt going to be an interesting race here. And we're going to be, I believe, getting it ready get going.
Yeah, and I'm reading as far as penalties so far. Omar Rodriguez getting an EOL, Cooper Leardy getting an EOL, and that is all I'm seeing so far.
Okay.
There is a little $20 bounty to the race winner. Now, who's paying for that, you might ask? It's either going to be Danny Barnes or Omar Rodriguez. If we have 8 or more cautions, it's going to be Omar Rodriguez. If we have 7 or less, it's going to be Danny Barnes. So they have a little wager going on the evening.
I can't lie to you there, Kevin. I thought you worried me there for a minute. I thought you were about to say I was going to come out of my pocket. I was finding out about that for the first time.
Nope. These guys pace around. I'm trying to get any word I can. I'm reading another couple of EOLs, but those black flags are getting cleared. We're seeing a lot of penalties because the guys went through their pits. But those are all getting cleared up by race control. Now I'm reading 2 laps to green now, So it looks like
Okay.
it should be 2 laps to green at this point.
Yep, and there's the light on the pace car.
Yeah, unfortunately for Omar Rodriguez, he qualified second, was one of only 2 cars that broke into the 14s on his qualifying time, but really nothing to show for it other than pit selection because he's starting in the rear. And I don't know if he has a drive-through this week, but if he does, that's gonna
Ooh.
really hurt here at Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. But, he's no stranger to be starting in these, you know, some call it a leg down scenario there. I mean, and he's been able to get up back onto the lead lap and even get into some top 5 finishes out here. So he's definitely no stranger from starting in the back and making the way back up to the front.
Yeah, going green this time by just checking our driver standings. And right now, looks like Dawson Price is still in first with Aiden Stevens closing in on him. Well, no, that's. I think that's accurate.
Here we
I
go.
don't know.
Green, green, green
Regardless,
for
we're
the
going
first
green.
time. Dawson Price with the first jump.
Yeah, and it's a good one over Christopher McCullough, who had a great race last week. He came out here, talked to us in an interview last week, and said that he's looking forward to Bristol, one of his best tracks. So he's starting in second, and I'm seeing a pit already by Omar Rodriguez, so I think that answers our question on the whole drive-through thing.
And he's going to be starting a step back behind everybody else out here tonight, and he's going to be going to climb a little bit further to get back up here. We got 220 laps out here, but Kevin, they will go by fast with this being just such an ever so short track out here. We're going to go and pull up that map track right now. Just take a look here, and we already see a bit of a breakaway going on right now from about the 7-car back. So about a 7-car breakaway.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we get a green run out here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see half the field go a lap down. With the way Dawson Price is moving around this track, just looking at best lap times so far, it looks like it's going to be Keaton Fry.
Right. Sorry to kind of interrupt you there, Kevin. Just looking back here, the number 9 car, Blaze Billing, I don't know if that's a... Nope, he is missing his whole front bumper already.
And I think that might have to do with that breakaway, if I had to take a guess, because if there was a big checkup, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the cause of losing that Monster Energy front bumper.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate position to be in here early on, but he's not sitting anywhere near a lap of contention right now, so he's still got some time to hang on to this thing and keep digging. His vehicle doesn't seem too Stevens, the guy looking to hunt down Dawson Price in the point standings right now in 5th place.
Yeah, Aiden Stevens, grid 12th. He's up to 5th place, and, he's on the move. Sean Merriman with the best lap of the race at a 14.93. He's sitting in P9 right now. He started out in 24th, I'm reading. Yeah, and at this point, we're only 10 laps into this race, but Dawson Price already can kind of see that lap traffic in front of him. And it's just going to be getting into a flow of navigating around the lap cars. If he can start, picking them off, putting cars in between him and second, that would be very good for him and his odds in this race.
Yeah, we're looking off the rear bumper right now. Nicholas Warner, he's the first vehicle at contention going a lap down right now. It really seems to see Price. He's getting closer and closer every lap here. We're already approaching lap 15 out here. We were saying the laps will go by quickly.
Yeah, and Omar Rodriguez, Luke, went down 3 laps from that drive-through penalty, so just goes to show how detrimental it is to get a penalty like that at a short track like Bristol.
He's got quite the hole to dig out of here, but we'll see if he can get it done out here.
Yeah, and here comes the lap traffic First to go a lap down is going to be Nicholas Warner. Or no,
It's actually Jeremy
I'm
Osborne.
mistaken. It's going to be Jeremy Osborne, yeah. And then James Hudson next. So some positions being changed there towards the back. And while that's going on, you know, you don't, if you're Dawson Price, you don't want to see those guys fighting each other too hard in front of you. But he was able to put a few cars a lap down there on that sequence, and he's now hunting for Nicholas Warner.
You can just see the guys behind him right now working their way around that lap traffic out there. Looked like Christopher McCullough and Matt Morrison both made their way around cleanly, but it's going to take a little longer for it to clear its way back, and going to clear a little bit more space out here for Dawson Price. And already under our first caution out here. And I believe
Yeah, and I'm reading Daryl Johnson
over our leader right now, Dawson Price. We see a vehicle up there high. I believe that is... we have there on that one? You said you read Daryl Johnson?
Yeah, it's going to be Daryl Johnson and the 5 car of Nathan Swafford getting together.
Go back here and take a look here and see what we can gather. Be watching the chase here of Daryl Johnson on board the
Pizza.
Yeah.
Chevy.
Caesars. Ooh.
Yeah, and it looks to me, Luke, and correct me if you disagree, but it looks to me like the 5 of Nathan Swafford comes off the wall a little bit. You know, Daryl Johnson tried to pinch him, and Swafford kind of comes down a little bit and gets into that right rear of the 8 car.
We'll slow it down one more time here just to take a look, and yeah, I'd have to agree there with you, Kevin. I think it's a pretty cut through and dry case there in my opinion. And who got clipped there at the end? We saw a hard hit there after the 8 got hit up hard up into the wall.
Oh, Danny Barnes.
Man.
I do believe that was.
I think, yeah, it was. And I think... oh, no. Justin Zemecki.
Was it Danny?
Oh, no, it was Danny. It was Danny, but it was also Justin Zemecki. His whole front right tire just got knocked out of alignment, but oddly enough, his whole front bumper teleported back onto his vehicle. So that's something. At least he got something working for him.
Could we look at the rear chase real quick of Danny Barnes sitting in the pits? I want to kind of just show how fast or how hard of an impact you can take, even though it's a short track and you're not getting up to speed. Just a live play would be fine of him sitting in the pits, just to showcase the damage that he's received.
Oh, lifetime.
Yeah, he's sitting in the pits right now. If we could see that rear chase and just look at that front end as well as your tire honestly looks better than mine. For me, his tire's pretty bent in, but just that's some severe damage for the 7 car.
Yeah, very unfortunate here, and we know Justin Zemecki also took some extensive damage as well, and you see that front bumper back on there, and it really doesn't look too damaged, but from what I remember, his front right was pretty heavily damaged. But
yeah, and here comes the pace car swooping in, so we can go green once again here for the second time of the evening. Green flag is out, and we are racing another good jump for the 54 of Dawson Price, and he's right back into action. Gonna try to see what type of separation he can build once again. He was able to get a couple guys lap down. Reading Hudson got free pass, Osborne a lap down, Warner a lap down, and then Danny also a lap down from damage. And then unfortunately, with him being able to make those passes and putting other cars lap down, Omar Rodriguez not able to get a lucky dog at all.
You see a lot of passes being made early here all throughout the field. A lot of too wide.
Yeah, we're seeing a missing bumper out there, but it seems like the pace isn't the worst, honestly.
No, I was gonna say, I think that's Heath Joe back there in 760. He's been missing that front bumper for quite some time now, but it's been.
No, I don't think that's Heath missing the front bumper. I believe so. Looks like that's Blaze Billing
Oh, that's
in
right. There it is.
the 96.
That's right.
Regardless, keeping decent pace as
Yeah.
he's sitting in 16th out of 32, kind of mid-pack, and really showing that he doesn't need a front bumper out here.
Yeah, I want to say he was sitting around that second group off our first start there. He had fallen off the main group, but I guess he managed to stay within that second group. So, missing a front bumper, not bad. Oh, bit of contact there by Kyle Reynolds, Aiden Stevens.
Yeah, and as you can see, Dawson Price already a half a straight away from starting on that lap traffic, and this time around, Christopher McCullough's a little bit closer before getting to the lap traffic, so it'll be interesting to see if the 04 can make a move, kind of using an assist from some of these lap cars.
He's definitely got the vehicle support there behind him to do it. He's got a couple guys close to him to maybe give him a little push if he needs to. And catching up on some lap traffic there. That's now Justin Zemecki, who goes hard up into the wall. And I pointed out there after that last wreck, his front right tire looked like it got out of alignment pretty good there out of that wreck. I don't know if he elected to come in and fix it, just considering his front bumper still looks pretty scratched up, so he might be feeling something. Definitely quite off pace. 3 vehicles on your lead lap right now.
Yeah, just looking at the track map, it's a lot more compacted as far as the majority of the field, as opposed to that first start we had to the race. I think these guys just kind of had to get settled in, get into a groove, and right now it's looking good.
Some 2-wide racing there around Kenny McCullough and Jacob Drossi. They make their way around each other right now.
Yeah, and your biggest mover so far, Luke, is going to be Kenny McCullough, as he's up 19 spots right now from his starting position. And, you got to wonder, we say it a lot, when you're hot, you're hot. We saw him get that nice win.
Oh, man! And speaking of hot, we got 3 and almost 4 vehicles sliding hot across the front of the track right there. And I see at least 3, maybe 4 vehicles involved. I'm reading Nathan Swafford, Kyle Van Drunen, and Jeremy Osborne, and Cooper Liardi.
Yeah, and I think we see 2 separate incidents here, Luke. I'm
Maybe.
looking at Jeremy Osborne. His seems isolated. So I think we either had a caution, or we had a wreck because they were checking up for the caution. That's the main incident right there, what you're seeing with Nathan Swafford.
Oh, I think right there. Oh, wait a minute.
I mean, I think if we could get a read on, like, right here, if we could switch to Jeremy Osborne, I think...
Cooper Liardi saw a little bit of a self-spin with the brake lockup, but he takes no damage.
That's fine.
At all.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy with that, all things considered. Then over here, this is where Jeremy Osborne's was. Kind of not too close to the wreck, I don't believe.
Oh no.
And just
him and the 09.
Yeah, him and Travis Farmer get together. Just so 2 simultaneous incidents out here, and that's going to be severe damage for a lot of guys. I don't think Jeremy Osborne or Travis Farmer is going to see too much damage, but if you're, Blaze Billings, Nathan Swafford, Cooper Liardi, you're definitely going to be sitting in the pits for a minute.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But we're pacing around here once again, Luke, and I think these are tough cautions for your leaders. Just wondering if they should come in, if they should stay out. I think at this point, staying out's still the move. We have about 140 laps on a tank of fuel out here, so tires are more concerned than fuel is. So I think it's going to be interesting to see when Dawson Price, Matt Morrison, those front runners kind of decide that it's worth losing their track position to come in.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, and I'll kind of follow that up there with a question. I know you got a little bit more short track racing experience than I do. If you're up here in these front runners up here, more importantly, like if you're sitting up here in the lead out there, you want to take the early pit for tires when you start to feel it going a little early, or you want to kind of try to stretch it out? What kind of situation are you trying to feel out there?
I'd want to stretch it out, honestly. We've seen 2 times now where Dawson Price has been able to get away from the field and kind of just be in an area of his own, not really concerning of getting in a wreck. So I think if you can still have pace, you're going to want to stay out. That being said, here we are green, and Dawson Price with yet another good jump out on an island of his own.
So the guy's kind of fanning out here a little bit now, trying to make some early passes.
Yeah, and Luke, you'd think that 220 laps is a long race, but I think it's proving with us being already 50 in that it is a lot shorter than it looks, and these guys are probably going to start, deciding what risks are worth being made here to make the passes and get the track position.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. And look at the look at the 2 wide situation we got going on right now next to Kenny McCullough. That is a tight pack, and as soon as I say that, the 19 getting up into the wall a little bit there kind of breaks that formation. But man, we got some tight racing going on right now around 10th place.
Yeah, that's going to be Hunter Zell, and I think the whole field rejoiced when they found out that he had some internet upgrades. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, that there's not going to be any more internet issues that we experienced at Talladega. So far, so good, though. I do think he's sick as well, but I think we're wrecking.
Still in the top 10.
And there's the caution. It's going to be between Cooper Liardi and Nolan Gross.
Am I missing something here? There it is. It's a little further back.
Oh.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it was saved pretty well by Nolan Gross, but you see here going into 1 and 2,
Ah,
kind of just moves him up the track, and probably some right side damage for Nolan Gross, but nothing night ending, I wouldn't assume.
no, still looks fairly clean here. We can even take a bit of a further look. His front right looks pretty alright. Overall, his vehicle looks pretty alright. I think he'll be okay. Definitely unfortunate, though.
Yeah, we're gonna see some pits here. Not many. I'm reading Nolan Gross, Sean Merriman, Regan Shockley, Blaze Billings, and Buster Malcolm. I think most of those guys are just clearing up past damage. I don't think we're seeing any pit stops yet from clean cars just trying to get tire advantage, which is interesting. I mean, we've probably paced 15 there, well, like 12 laps around here, but that's still 45 laps around on these tires. So it's interesting, to see that I don't think there's too much fall off on these tires from what the guys are seeing as far as lap times go.
And one thing I would like to point out, we do officially have our first meatball of the night, Danny Barnes. On the
Yeah,
inside
and
earlier.
that was an incident a while ago. Um, he's 38 laps back. Daryl Johnson was able to clear up his damage and get back out on the racing track with down 25 laps. Justin Zemecki as well, kind of in a similar situation. He's 21 down and still out. And then Nathan Swafford in real time just got his hood back down 15 laps, so he's probably going to be able to make it back on the track. So we're seeing a lot of guys here with damage early. I don't want to say race ending, but it's definitely looking that way in terms of a decent finish. But the green flag is out, and Dawson Price, getting used to these restarts here, is going to clear in front of Matt Morrison and Christopher McCullough, who were briefly side by side. Christopher McCullough was able to clear.
Yeah, and once again, like you said, a great launch for Dawson Price out here.
Yeah, and Dawson Price has about 3.5 tenths on Matt Morrison, but it's not a huge gap. Like we keep seeing that kind of 3 or 4 car lengths in front. I'm really hoping we can get a long green run here and really get into the lap traffic. I know people say they don't like lap traffic racing. From the famous words of Kyle Busch, if it wasn't for lap traffic, it wouldn't even be a race. So I think I think some lap traffic could do some good here, Luke. See some hard racing between these front runners.
I have to agree. Oh! A bit up into the wall there. It's Richard Elliott. Thanks to our sponsor of the weekend, Weeknight here, Slightly Dangerous Race.
Yeah, and I'd say this is a slightly dangerous track, Luke.
I have to agree.
We've seen our fair share of cautions thus far, but right now, we're looking good. The guys are out here turning laps green, and Dawson Price, I don't want to say pulling away, but he's put a tenth between him and Matt Morrison since we last mentioned it. Moving in the right direction, I'll say.
Absolutely, and it seems to be the story of the season so far, for being completely honest. And the only guy that can really give him some competition right now in the point standing would be Aiden Stevens, who is currently sitting secure in 10th place.
Oh, and we're seeing a caution here between James Hudson and Heath Job. And the only reason I'm seeing this as quickly as I am is because I was watching Omar Rodriguez try to make some moves. And it was right in his face.
Good enough to watch his cockpit POV?
I don't know. Let's get an overhead first. I'm not 100% sure.
So it's between who?
Heath Job and James Hudson.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Good save by Heath Job. Able to keep it pretty clean. I don't know how bad that back left damage would be from a hit like that, but if you want to watch Omar Rodriguez's cockpit, it is a pretty solid view. I just went back and watched it myself. Able to hook it down and stay clear of it, and he's going to get his first lap back of the evening. Going to be only 2 laps down now.
Yeah, he's no doubt going to be pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of, "Yee-hoo!" So, I'd say pretty happy.
Quite happy indeed.
Travis Farmer now leading this one as we see our first bit of pit stops. I'm reading Dawson Price, Matt Morrison, Kyle Reynolds, Hunter Rizal, Jacob Petrosky, Connor Price, Aiden Stevens, Richard Elliott all coming into the pits. And, yeah, I mean, it's kind of split out here. We see a lot of guys staying out. Travis Farmer, Sean Merriman, Kian Fry, Nick Haynes, Kyle Van Drinen, all staying out amongst many others. So it's going to be a hunt through the field now for your leaders. I'm trying to see where they're going to be restarting here. Just getting a read. It's going to be 12th place and back. Well, I think about 14th and back. Dawson Price 14th, Matt Morrison 15th, Kyle Reynolds 16th. So it's going to be a hunt through the field for them for sure. But that opens the window to Travis Farmer. He had a great qualifying lap, starting in 6th place. We know he has the pace, and now he has the clear track in front of him. If he can fend off Sean Merriman on this restart, it's going to be a great time to see if Travis Farmer can get some laps let in.
Yeah, and especially if we get a good green flag run out here, that could be pretty substantial for those guys that elected to stay out.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, if Dawson Price can get by the cars on older tires in a timely manner, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back up fighting for the lead here with that tire advantage. Even if it's a minimal tire advantage, just because we know how strong his pace has been tonight.
Yeah, it definitely makes things interesting. And one thing I would like to point out, Kevin, is we have officially entered night race territory. The light fixtures are on, and I gotta say, I think that's probably the only thing, personally, that I think these small tracks have over these cool super speedways, especially like Talladega. It needs to get some light fixtures. Either way, we're going green out here, and Travis Farmer getting his first jump tonight. He's going to clear all the way.
Yeah, good start for Travis Farmer, but also a good start for Sean Merriman. They're both kind of broken away from that third car of Kian Fry. See a lot of 2-wide racing, about 5 deep and back. We just briefly saw 3 wide as Dawson Price split the 29 car. Try to make some ground.
Kenny McCullough looking for a split there between Heath and Job in the 62.
Travis Farmer just set his best lap of the race, which is very telling, Luke. We know he's on the older tires, but at the same time, he's got, clean air, clean track in front of him, and just put help his fastest lap of the race, 80 laps into this thing.
Oh, man.
Ty Carino up into the wall.
Up into the wall back there. Too sure what that one was. He definitely took some Decent right side damage there from that. Already just under 19 laps to this 100 lap marker in this thing. It's going to be us getting closer and closer to this halfway mark. We see a 3 wide situation going on right now near the back, and oh, some bumping around back there by the 28 near Connor Price, but all 3 hold it together. I believe that was between Connor Price, Buster Malcolm, and Jacob Petrosky. We're going to go back and maybe take a look at that. I'll be honest, I thought we were about to be wrecking there for a minute, Kevin.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was very close. And we saw Buster Malcolm just, I think, trying to kind of stay on that high side and get out of the way. And there was a big pace difference there that could have resulted in something dangerous.
Yeah, fortunate for all them to hold it together. And look at this we got going on right now. Another 3 wide situation right now near Kian Fry.
Gonna sort it back down to 2. That was, yeah,
that was
absolutely. Ooh, and a little bump from Kyle Reynolds into Matt Morrison.
These guys are getting a little antsy after this pit cycle, Kevin. It's shaking up the field a little bit. I only imagine as the longer this race goes on and everyone's on some different cycles, it's gonna really shape things up out here and make things a little interesting. Oh my fucking god! And the 28 just kisses the wall. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
Oh, Connor Price.
What in the world?
I think
just drove straight into the wall. Maybe a disconnected wheel?
No, I think he just got loose off of 4, if I'm being honest.
Holy sweet Jesus, that was a hard hit there for Connor Price. Go back and watch the cockpit, maybe.
And he's been disqualified. And you know, Luke, that leads me to believe that your theory might have been right, because I want us to watch this all the way through, and not only all the way through, but to the end. Because I'm hearing the meow DQ28, DQ28, and you see how that wheel is completely still in the middle.
And the throttle got
stuck.
And
what? That's why they said DQ the 28, DQ the 28. Fortunately, he didn't really hit anybody.
Yeah, he kept that one to himself, but I gotta say that one was catastrophic for his vehicle, no doubt.
Well, look, I don't know if you've ever done it, but if my power on my wheel gets disconnected, it buries the throttle and it sticks to the wheel middle.
It freezes your inputs, or at least it freezes mine, yeah.
Well, even if I'm off the gas, if I disconnect it, it's burying the throttle. I don't know why it does it, but I imagine something similar happened there to the 28 of Connor Price, and they DQ'd him so that he didn't just keep driving around the track like a wrecking ball. Very unfortunate for the 28, but
lucky it was contained to just the 28.
Yeah. Pacing around once again here, and technically speaking here, if these guys just pit there, they're good on fuel to the end of the race. Now, would they want to run 130 laps on their tires? I don't know. I probably wouldn't. But
that's a tough
if they wanted to, they're now good on fuel. If they pit here, obviously.
And the only one I'm seeing on lap 89 I see Nicholas Warner, Kyle Van Drunen, and that's it. It's the only two that could make it on fuel right now, I think.
Interesting.
So just two drivers that hit here in this last cycle.
Yeah, and as it stands, back into the lucky dog position, would it be necessary, is Omar Rodriguez. 2 laps down, nobody 1 lap down, so I think he's kind of hoping for caution, whereas everybody else is hoping for not a caution. And I'm seeing some blinking. I'm trying to get a read on who that was. They've completely blinked out, though, so I can't really tell. Keep you updated on that if I can figure it out. But Travis Farmer sitting in front of Chris McCullough, both of which have been fast all race. How about Katie McCullough up 25 spots into the P3 position? His teammate, Chris, fighting for the lead right now as we're 2 wide for it. Chris McCullough on the inside. Travis Farmer on the top, and Travis Farmer's going to fend it off for now.
And now Kenny coming up here behind Chris. I'll probably try to get a run up here. 100 laps into this thing.
Ooh, I'm hearing wrecking, and I'm seeing
under
wrecking.
Caution. I'm hearing it's backed by Cooper Liardi.
Yeah, I'm seeing Cooper Liardi and Jeremy Osborne here out of 4.
You know, I know these turn exits, especially on these short tracks, can really lead to some catastrophic damage, and I believe it's got to be around this 2 wide scenario.
Yeah, we see Liardi on the outside of Osborne. And Aiden Stevens creeping up and just getting into the left rear. Osborne completely fine. I think we got a ghost read on that. I think maybe he could have gotten a 4X from that, but no damage, as he barely got touched there. But unfortunately for 07 of Cooper Liardi, that was a very hard hit into the inside wall.
And one person that's also got to be pretty scary for is
Dawson Price.
Dawson Price.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, he's right in front of that. Good on him for being able to avoid that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of contact with Aiden Stevens, but just maybe some paint trading, nothing that actually hurt him.
Right.
And Luke? Omar Rodriguez is now just 1 lap down, and he's on perfect pace for where he wanted to be. We see him coming around for the lucky dog. Whoever bought that drive-through is probably starting to worry a little bit because he's coming.
And he's definitely looking in a pretty good spot right now, at least pace-wise. And you know, I was just kind of pondering the question out here, Kevin. We haven't had one in a little while. You got a caution line for us?
Yeah, what are we at right now? That's a 6.
Yep.
Let me see. We'll go 11.5.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm going to take the under. I think we straighten it up out here near the end of this thing.
And we are 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Slightly Dangerous Racing, not Credit One Bank.
Unless Credit One Bank wants to reach out and get ninth gear some track time and some rental cars, we would be more than obliged. But green, green, green racing once again, and Christopher McCullough clear all around.
Yeah, and it's a McCullough 1-2 right now. You know, they haven't taken their pit yet, and they're taking that track position over those tires. We've kind of see it work out for him. I know Dawson Price restarted 14th when he first took his tires. He's only made up 4 spots. Granted, we've had a lot of pacing, but so far the staying out hasn't really hurt too bad. We recently saw Travis Farmer come in. He's going to be restarting 17th with the freshest tires out here.
And probably your oldest vehicle out here in your front runners is going to be Sean Merriman, who's sitting in 3rd place right now in vehicle the last pit on, what do we got here, lap 56, and then Nick Hames, who's sitting in 13th, who last pit on lap 42. Here pit a little over 30 laps ago. They're looking very comfortable like up here in the front.
Yeah, and I think the first car on those fresh tires right now is going to be P5 of Matt Morrison. He's kind of been leading the charge of that group of him, Kyle Reynolds, and Dawson Price. And together they've been able to make, and Aiden Stevens, I do believe, together they've been able to make up a decent bit of ground. And they're coming for the McCulloughs.
Looking to give them a run for their money. We're halfway through this thing, Kevin. I just realized I didn't really ask you. What are you taking on the cautions, over under?
I think I'm going to go with the over. I think we're going to see our good green flag run that we wanted to see, but I also think here towards the late race area, we're going to see some cautions, breeding cautions, just from these guys racing each other a little bit harder.
Okay. I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like we're going to get another couple cautions here, and then the guys are going to straighten it up here near the end. But I guess we'll see. Oh man, I think I just saw 3 or 4 vehicles all hit that turn 4 wall and sink.
Yeah, and McCullough's still leading 1-2 right now, Luke, but Sean Merriman is trying his best to hold off those guys in fresh tires. Doing pretty well. We see McCullough, Azell, Merriman all up front.
Azell looking to the outside, getting into the door of Christopher McCullough a little bit. And they're racing hard up here for the lead. Kenny gonna get up there. Oh! Hunter Azell getting into the wall a little bit there, and that's gonna knock him off speed. Azell sneaks to the inside.
Oh, and caution is out. I'm hearing wrecking on the front stretch. Yeah, and I'm seeing Blaze Billing.
Oh, and Blaze Billing tapping the gas and getting into Kenny McCullough after he was already stopped and involved. Oh, no.
Yeah, and another heartbreaker there. I don't think the damage is too bad for Omar Rodriguez, but he's not going to get the lucky dog there because he did make contact on the tail end of that with Blaze Billing.
Ooh, yeah, he did. Unfortunate.
Oh, and Kenny McCullough.
Yeah, like I said,
took
a hard shot.
Hard lick, yeah, I'm just seeing that.
Definitely unfortunate sets of incidents there. And now Kenny gonna probably have to go in and, get that fixed up.
Yeah, and it seems like somewhat extensive wheel damage, but he was running long. If he could stay on the lead lap and clear up the damage and get new tires, I guess it's not too negative just because he was probably going to have to come into pit here soon anyways. Just getting a look here. Chris McCullough going to stay out. And Hunter Zell's going to lead this thing now. And the guy that's led the most of this race, Austin Price, is back up into 4th place.
That's a dangerous man to see up there in that top 5.
Oh yeah.
It's off the pace car. We will be going green this time by. It'll be Hunter Azell with his first choice of the restart. Christopher McCullough on his outside. We go green once
And we are
again,
green.
3 wide, almost right off
Ooh,
the start.
and yeah, Matt Morrison bumping Chris McCullough out of the way a little bit, and they are not wasting any time this time around.
No, they are not. Getting straight to business. Right on each other's doors, Matt Morrison and Christopher McCullough.
Oh, and wrecking hard is Aiden Stevens. Into Kean Fry. Oh!
Oh man, and we see some aftermath.
Yeah, we did see some aftermath, Luke, and like not what you want to see because it seemed like it was somewhat contained to maybe 2 cars. Well, maybe 3. But then coming in late, it's going to be the '07
Oh,
Cooper Liardi. Been a rough day for him.
and who else do we see involved there? Is that the 5? 5 of Nathan Swafford. Doing his best to avoid it. Getting up into the wall a little bit there as a result of it, but it doesn't look too bad. Either way, some unfortunate damages for some of the guys. They got to go in there and get that fixed.
Yeah, and the number of guys on the lead lap out here is starting to dwindle, Luke. I'm reading 16 right now, and I'm seeing a lot of damage. I think if you picked a random car out of this bunch, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to have at least some sort of damage. Most likely on the front end from what we've been seeing.
Yeah, we're that right rear. You know, we've seen a quite the extensive damage out of the exits of
Yeah,
some of these corners.
the old right rear, left rear sort of,
Oh yeah,
or front right, left rear as well sort of deal.
exactly. It's been an interesting one.
Yeah, there's a lot of racing left. I think a lot of these guys are forgetting. We have over 80 laps to go still. A lot of these guys racing like it's the last lap. We just had we just hit that 8 caution mark, so it looks like it's going to be Omar Rodriguez paying the winner their $20. Danny Barnes rejoicing. Unfortunately, Danny Barnes is about 118 laps down, so if I'm Danny, I'd probably go out there and cause a couple cautions if I hadn't hit that 8 mark, make
Make
sure I
things
don't have to
interesting.
if you're gonna have a bad race, make sure you don't have to pay $20 with it. It's sort of thinking.
Okay, fair enough. That's gonna go up the pace car, making our way in this next time by.
Omar Rodriguez back on the lead lap, Luke.
Wow, and you know we or at least I set it here to start this race. We know he was no stranger to starting in a further down position than everybody else. Once again, he makes it back up to the lead lap. We'll have to see what he can do with it now, sitting in 15th place.
Green flag is out, and we are racing with again. Hunter and Sell, front row. Ooh, and yellows out right away.
Man, that one was fast. I'm reading Justin Zemecki.
Yep. Well, what happens in front of him, honestly?
Yeah, he was just trying to check up for it.
Happened with Blaze Billings up there, it looks like.
Unfortunately, it seems to keep piling on here for Justin Zemecki. Matt Morrison now going to get his first chance at the restart out here. Christopher McCullough making his way still comfortably into second. Dawson Price gonna like to take a pit. Lights off the pace car, and you know, Kevin, I gotta say, I think we're slowly creeping towards that line we set just a handful of cautions ago. But we'll see how that affects the rest of this race out here. We get ready to get this thing going once again. These cars making its way in. Matt Morrison with his jump.
Green flag, green flag. And can we look at, like, last lap pitted for some of these front runners?
Yeah, just taking a look here. I'm seeing Sean Merriman last pit lap 129. I'm seeing Heath Joe, Ty Carino. I'm seeing 137 for Buster Malcolm. I'm seeing 143 for Kyle Reynolds, Dawson Price. I'm seeing 143.
Can we see the battle box for, like, top 5? Just to see the difference here between Morrison, McCullough, and Azell. Yeah, it looks like Azell and McCullough came in on 71, so they're... Well, I guess they all came in there on 71. Sean Merriman, actually, on the best strategy out here.
Some interesting pit cycles here for a lot of these guys, and you know, this was about the time I said it was going to get probably the most interesting throughout this race out here. You got some guys who are probably a little later into their pit cycles that are going to be looking to probably come in out here, maybe run it a little easier. You got guys that just put on a fresh set of everything and are ready to burn it up and get these tires and stuff warmed up, or you might have somebody in the middle here who's just kind of trying to coast by until the next pit cycle stops. So,
ooh, and a huge check around 6th place for Hunter Azell.
Ooh, a little bit of door action going on right
now.
It's Nick Hames and Kyle Reynolds.
Also some door action going on between Heath Job and I think Jacob Petrowski, yeah. Right in front of them.
It's a small track. You run out of real estate quick.
No doubt. How about this runaway for Matt Morrison? Potentially the biggest lead we've seen from any driver today, 1.2 seconds. He's taking control of this race.
And the 11 getting into the 760 of Heath Job, and oh, goodness! Oh, man, and we see a 3-car pile up here between Heath Job. Man. We about watched that one happen right in front of our eyes, Kevin. It happened right between the 11 and the 760.
Kyle Reynolds just using a little bit too much track and coming up and getting into the 760 of Heath Job, and really a chain reaction there, and Heath Job is definitely hurting.
Unfortunate, and you know, I'd like to point out this minor incident that we're watching right now. That right there is the meatball for Reagan Shockley.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, minor, huh? How about an interview?
It's still there, but yeah, let's hear what he's got to say. I don't imagine
Well,
it'll be the next the happiest.
yeah, I don't know if I want to grab him. We'd hate to get a strike on our YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's drag somebody over that's probably pretty happy right now, Matt Morris.
Mhm.
Hey, Matt, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, man, you finally found your way to that front, and you've kind of put the biggest gap we've seen on a green flag run between you and the second place car, about 1.2, 1.3 seconds. What made you find this pace here in the front?
Just running my line, getting the clean air, that's the big thing. Just not, I abused it there for the first few laps and then just kind of rode.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, whatever you're doing is working out there. What do you got to do to maintain your lead here on the last about 60 laps of this race?
Hopefully there's lots more cautions, so that way Dawson doesn't catch up to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck and hope to talk to you after the race.
All right, thank you guys. Good luck, or have
Thanks.
fun.
Yeah, and I think we should have said good luck to him because we have seen a lot of incidents out here, and I feel like there's a middle ground here. He wants to get up to those lap cars and start putting cars in between him and second place, Luke. But at the same time, do you want to get to lap traffic soon, or do you want to keep seeing cautions out here? Because if you get to the lap traffic soon, you put yourself at risk and getting involved in an incident.
It's definitely a tough question, but I think it definitely leads back to his answer back there. It sounds like he's wanting to stay up here in front of it all, just by the looks of it. Wanting the extra cautions out here, just giving him the extra space before he even has time to catch up to the lap cars. So he's definitely just hoping to have clear skies ahead, and I can't say I blame Matt Morrison too much for that.
No. But as we see, he got another good jump here. Sean Merriman, we know, is in a great spot. He's on that fresher set of tires. And he's in the hunt now, as we see right there. Wow. Found a lot of speed.
He's there. And he's looking at the inside now.
Just looking here, Sean Merriman actually owns the fastest lap of the race with a 14.93. He got it very early on. We know he's had the pace all race, and now if he can clear for the lead, he's going to be on the best strategy and the best spot on the track.
He's definitely been setting himself up for success this whole race out here. But one other person not to forget about here, Dawson Price, who's just snuck his way up into our top three, and just as the second I was saying, keep an eye on him, he is here.
Yeah, speaking of...
Oh my lord, and there goes the 9 across the track.
Hard into the wall.
Oh, goodness. And everybody else behind him narrowly missing him. But overall, I mean, just looking at his vehicle, at first glance, all we're seeing is some rear damage right now. So let's go back and take a look and see what we can digest from that.
Ooh, and yeah, Travis Farmer kind of just gets turned, if I'm being honest. Looks like he could have gone a little bit sooner to the wall, I guess would be my only argument if I'm the 31. But
I'll tell you what, though, if I'm the 09, I'm screaming at something like that. I can just tell you that.
yeah, and Luke,
as someone
that has voice chat turned on, I will say you're not far off.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, we said it before the race. I'm sure we'll say it again. It's short track racing, and these guys are going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
It's a little evil from the WWSS crew to go from Talladega to Bristol, because I'm sure there were already some tempers flared from super speedway racing, and then we go to a track like Bristol. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these guys getting upset with each other.
Yeah, and especially all such in a confined space out here, we still see a majority of the drivers out here on the track right now. Couple guys
Yeah,
through pits right
absolutely.
now. We got Matt Morrison making his way in, Jacob Petrosky. We have Kyle Van Drunen. We have Aiden Stevens.
Having a great race so far for kind of a sleeper that we haven't been talking about too much tonight. Richard Elliott, he's made his way up 21 spots to get into a top 5 position right now, and he's got pace.
And speaking of top 5 positions, look who also is out of just now inside of the top 5, Kevin. Omar Rodriguez making his way at the start of this race 3 laps down all the way up into the top 5.
Yeah, and that's kind of a question mark for a lot of these drivers. They don't know quite what his pace is capable of. They don't know if he can contend for the lead out here because they haven't been racing around him. But from the broadcast booth, I will tell you, he is a real contender in this race.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're definitely in for an interesting one here. It's going to be lap 170 when we go green out here. We're going to have just about a quarter of this race left to go here. It's going to be Dawson Price now. Going to be up here with the jump once again with Nick Hames on his door.
Yeah, and just pointing out, we saw Matt Morrison come into pit there. We saw Sean Merriman come into pit there. We saw Kyle Reynolds, I think, come into pit there. So Dawson Price back to the lead here, but there's some guys with fresh tires lurking around that top 10 that I wouldn't be surprised to see get back up towards the front. Yeah, I know we got about 50 laps to go, Luke. But we're getting to kind of that witching hour point of the race. Just because these laps are so short.
For some drivers, I feel it does create a sense of urgency, but for others, it's got to be a sigh of relief.
Yeah, Dawson Price back to his lead that he started this race with and held for a good 50 or 60 laps. I'm sure he's happy to be back. Omar Rodriguez now working Nick Hames for third place. And he's going to clear him. Omar Rodriguez finds himself up into a podium spot, Luke.
Yeah, that he does, Kevin. He is sitting pretty right now. Just sitting behind the main leaders out here. He's just hoping the guys behind him can straighten up a little bit and get him the support he needs to catch up to him.
Yeah, just looking at your track map, we see the leaders coming out of 4 right when that second group, led by Omar Rodriguez, is going into 3. So they've built a decent gap there. But I'll keep you updated here. Just looking at last lap times as it comes through to update. Well, Dawson Price just set the fastest lap of the race at a 14.904 last lap. This time around, he got a 15.28. Second place got a 15.33, and Omar Rodriguez got a 15.20. So Omar Rodriguez fastest on the track that lap. He's coming, Luke.
He's digging.
Yeah, Christopher McCullough's not making it easy on Dawson Price. As he's lurking in the shadows, sticking with them, as they're both going to navigate around some lap traffic. Speaking of lap traffic, it's going to get harder and harder. We see that group of about 8 cars up about half a straightaway in front of them. They're going to get there before you know it. We're about 35 to go here.
A little bit of Doran going on between the 18 and the 11. They get things straightened out. Sitting in a good spot right now, but Christopher McCullough hot on his heels here as they make their way around some lap traffic.
Still leading this thing around is Dawson Price, but that's not due to lack of speed out here. We're seeing Omar Rodriguez catch quickly. We're also seeing Hunter Zell make up some time on the leaders. Lap traffic getting in the way a little bit. Oh, and Christopher McCullough is going to turn him.
Backwards and
oh
my goodness, the 6 gets clipped.
Matt Morrison, who's had a great day, is going to get involved in that one heavily.
And the 002 getting involved there as well. And we see at least 3 involved in that one.
Minimum. Yeah, hard hit there. That's the separate, simultaneous incidents again, Luke.
It seems to be a common theme out here, Kevin.
I'm not really quite sure how. It seems
either.
These guys are very synchronized in their wrecking tonight.
Yeah, I guess so, and more power to them. Making it quite difficult for me to find each one and break it down,
Yeah. Well, Luke, the line was 11.5 cautions. This was
12.
Yep, this was 12. So
sounds like the over wins.
Yeah, if you put the house on the over, you're looking pretty good right now. And let's take a look here. Oh, catching up on a little bit of chat here. Steven Shekels, the 11 did get an EOL penalty for his contact with Heath Job. And fade away. Take a look here at Regan Shockley's paint scheme. Let's see what we got here in the 93.
You're gonna have to go some distance back to see that one. Regan Shockley.
Oh, was it the Little Caesars?
I believe it, or no, that's Daryl Johnson.
Oh, okay.
I know you're hungry.
Always.
Let's see, the 93. Oh, that was the Jurassic Park scheme.
Okay. I think that's more in Luke's wheelhouse as opposed to mine.
Boy, I like it. I'm really liking this night fixture out here, Kevin.
Known dinosaur enthusiast Luke Freeman. What do you think of the scheme?
I like it, Kevin. I'm a big fan of the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh yeah?
Big Jurassic Park guy?
No, not really, actually. Never really got into it.
To each their own, I suppose. Lights off the pace car. We're going to get ready to get this thing underway once again. Dawson Price up into the front. It's going to be 24 to go when they cross the line.
Oh! And Heath Job hard into the wall. And we are right back under caution.
That was so fast, I didn't even get the chance to have it up and ready. We'll watch, I guess, the
let's watch the whole restart here. He starts without that bumper, and I think kind of the lack of pace really threw a lot of these guys off, and I'm not sure who that was that got up into him. I think maybe Nolan Gross. Yeah, Nolan Gross gets into his left quarter and sends him for a ride. And then looks like there's once again going to be some aftermath here between Buster Malcolm in the 102 and the 36 car of Kyle Van Drunen, both getting together. As a result, right there, you kind of see it at the top of your screen. But I think they are able to sort it out pretty well. Yeah, both of them stay straight. It's been a rough night for Heath Job.
Yeah, that it has. And now we see a couple other drivers making their way into the pits now. Dawson Price, Hunter Rizal, and Jacob Petrosky all making their way in. That's going to open the window of opportunity for Sean Merriman, who's going to elect to stay out, and Christopher McCullough.
Yeah, look, we only got 25 laps left in this thing, and, I mean, let's not act like that's a lot of race. That's at 15 seconds a lap. That's about 6 minutes and some change of racing green here.
Not much.
So, I think I think the strategy at this point would be get lead any way you can. Sean Merriman has it right now. As we see Dawson Price coming in and throwing on his last set of Goodyears. But I think, I don't know if I love that strategy, if I'm being completely honest. I think we're just going to keep seeing cautions. We see 13 guys, 13 guys here on the lead lap, and a lot of guys out here with damage. I think we're going to keep seeing incidents, and I think being able to have control of the restarts here is huge. However, it's going to be a good starting position here for Dawson Price just because there's so many cars a lap down. So it doesn't hurt him too much to take these tires and try something different.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what they can do out here as the light's going to be off the pace car, and we're going to have 19 laps to go when they get ready to get this thing underway again.
Yeah, look, interestingly enough, Heath Job stayed out after that caution.
Definitely a story of perseverance tonight for a lot of these drivers, and these cars make its way in.
I'd say a tip of our cap to the manufacturers of these ARCA cars because they've been through hell tonight.
That they have.
Ooh, and what a shot around the outside for Chris McCullough. Ooh, but unfortunately, putting a little bit too much dip on his chip and getting into that outside wall. He still holds strong in second place, though, about a tenth behind Sean Merriman.
And it's go time, no doubt, Kevin. Under 20 laps to go out here. These guys are looking to get it done.
Travis Farmer back up into P5. After having an incident earlier, we still see some back right damage on his vehicle. But right now, all eyes on Sean Merriman and Christopher McCullough. $16 to go out here. Can Merriman hold off a hard-charging Christopher McCullough?
Yeah, it seems the rest are having some troubles keeping up here. Kyle Reynolds, the only other one that's close.
Yeah, and Omar Rodriguez on another nice little charge here towards the front. He's made it back up into fourth after passing the 002 of Richard Elliott.
Kyle Reynolds starting
13.
to reel him back in.
Yeah, just 13 to go, and I think Kyle Reynolds is in a great spot here because if we start seeing Christopher McCullough and Sean Merriman fight each other, that's going to open the door to the 11 car.
Just like that.
Just like that, and he got to his right rear, and that's going to slow both of those front two down a good bit, and just like that, Reynolds is to that back bumper.
Yep, and he is
Where's he
there.
going to go with it?
Maybe nowhere yet. Maybe nowhere yet. But how about it? Now Omar Rodriguez is going to take the opportunity to start to catch up as well. Started 3 laps down in this thing and is now in the front runners here in this final group out here with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I'm going to lap Heath Job as he has that severe damage we saw, but Sean Merriman going to fade back 2 spots now. And Kyle Reynolds has cleared into second and is charging forward. Oh, and the yellow flag comes out.
A very interesting time. I'm reading Jacob Petrosky.
Oh, a couple hard hits there.
Yeah, I'd say. And you know, when you get to this stage of the race where everyone's trying to make them passes, they're just trying to get things done.
Yeah, and I think if you're Christopher McCullough, you don't mind that caution. It seemed like Kyle Reynolds was catching fast. It really did. And Chris McCullough is able to kind of not only have 3 or 4 laps here to just pace around and guarantee himself the lead, but also when he goes green, able to have that jump that we've seen work so well all night. And now, Luke, we are down to 11 cars on the lead lap.
It's a lot less than we started with, Kevin.
Absolutely. This is every bit of a Bristol race.
That it is 2AT out here. No more, no less. Especially when you have a field as big as we did out here tonight. It's going to be under 5 laps to go when we get this thing underway. And we're going to have a bit of a shootout out here for the final portion of this race out here. And Christopher McCullough's going to be sitting in the front driver's seat out here. Kyle Reynolds is going to be on his door.
Yeah, and Luke, this is what we've been waiting for all race long. The last lap, or last couple lap shootout. And I think I think deep down we always knew it was going to end like this. As much as we would love to see that long green flag run with the 140 lap tanks of fuel, I think we knew that it was definitely a risk out here. Especially Danny Barnes, he definitely knew that over 8 cautions was a lock. We're at 14 right now. And pace car is in for possibly the last time. Green flag, green flag. A good jump there for Christopher McCullough.
4 to go.
Kyle Reynolds, though, able to stay clear. Nobody was able to get to his inside or outside, so he's going to be able to get to work immediately on Christopher McCullough. Sean Merriman and Omar Rodriguez side by side. Omar Rodriguez working the outside. He's going to clear very briefly.
They're fighting to try to get that white flag. You know they are.
Omar Rodriguez in 3rd place. Christopher McCullough trying to fend off 2 very fast cars.
White flag.
2 laps to go.
By.
Yeah, and Kyle Reynolds looks to the inside, but understands it's not there. Gives a little teensy bit of contact, but we got the white flag. And this is for all the marbles.
What can
Kyle
Kyle
Reynolds.
Reynolds do? He's going to look his nose to the inside. He's not quite going to have it. One more turn to do it. He's got the nose on the inside. They're going to be door to door to the finish.
Contact.
He's going to get into his corner, but he's still going to finish
And he's going to win.
first.
Christopher McCullough hangs on
getting
through the
turned,
contact.
holds on. And what a win for Christopher McCullough there through the last turn.
Yeah, and I think Christopher McCullough knew what we all knew was coming. And he held that outside, and I think he just gripped his wheel and prayed. There's not much he can do there. And he was able to finish a little bit sideways and get the win here.
Still in first. And he's getting out there and getting to burn it down. Chris getting it done out there for McCullough Motorsports.
What a past handful of races for Christopher McCullough. He's been on fire lately. I know he finished second last week at Talladega. I know we talked to him at Watkins Glen. He's really been putting in the hours and getting it done out here.
Yeah, getting a good finish, no doubt.
Yeah. And Luke, is that what I think it is? They're on his side?
I think it is, Kevin. I think it is. Yeah, and a good win for him and a great finish out there for Kyle Reynolds, as well as Omar Rodriguez finishing in the podium despite starting 3 laps down. Kind of fitting, starting 3 laps down, finishing third. Not a bad feat by him.
Yeah, and Christopher McCullough also able to kind of avenge teammate Kenny McCullough. We saw leading the race earlier and unfortunately got involved in a wreck with some lap traffic. But Christopher McCullough went on and made him proud for the team. And I think overall it's going to be a decent points day for the team.
Absolutely.
Despite the troubles.
Absolutely. I believe as we wait for these guys to make their way on over here for the interview portion of this one. Get ready to get this underway.
I think first interview we're going to get is the guy we had our eyes on all race, started 3 laps down. It's going to be Omar Rodriguez. Hey, Omar, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, started 3 laps down. We had our doubts up here in the booth, I won't lie, but you were able to slowly pick them off, slowly get your laps back, and then once you're on that lead lap, make a charge. But it just seems like you ran out of time. You want to talk us through how that race felt?
Absolutely. I mean, it's never fun having a drive-through to start a race, let alone 3. But a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do to fundraise, right? It was definitely a challenge just between avoiding the wrecks and making sure I had the pace to stay in front of the leaders. I slowly started picking up lucky dogs, and once I got on the lead lap, I just had enough time to get my way through the field there.
Absolutely, and I know we saw that very late caution, and it kind of seemed to kill your run you had. You were making ground up on the leaders. Do you think if that last caution didn't come out, you had the speed to kind of catch Chris and Kyle and give them a run for their money?
Oh, absolutely. I was catching them right here at the end. Hell, I nearly stole second.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great run, and I gotta ask: are the EOLs and the drive-throughs going to stay true and still be a thing when we get into the chase, or are you going to be starting in your normal position in the chase?
No, they're cut off in Vegas. I figure, if I'm in the chase, I'll actually try to run and win the whole thing. But I'll keep fundraising at least through the end of the regular season.
Absolutely. Seems like nothing can hold you down so far. Congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. And you'd like to thank or shout out before we get you out of here?
Absolutely. I want to thank all the drivers for showing up tonight. I want to thank you guys for giving us a killer broadcast like you do every week. I want to thank my girlfriend waiting for me to get off so I can actually, get to bed at a reasonable time. Yeah, man, I just, I'm feeling pretty good. I want to thank everyone who shows up and makes this what it is.
Absolutely. Well, thank you and congratulations on the podium.
Thank you, guys.
That was Omar Rodriguez getting 3rd place out here after being, I think, in every position on the track, Luke.
Yeah, I think about every single one of them.
Yeah, and 2nd place is going to be Kyle Reynolds. I want to talk to him about his second place finish and what he could have possibly had for the 04. Hey, Kyle, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, what a race and what a finish. You know, we saw you kind of all over the track throughout the race. It was highs and lows for, I think, every driver out here tonight. But there at the end, it was a high for you getting in second place. You want to talk us through how that late run felt and if you had anything there for the 04?
Yeah, I think I was faster than him, but I wasn't. I'm not. I just been hit or miss all season, so he's probably got more points on the line than I do. So, um, I just I wasn't gonna punt him, But yeah, I got that one EOL, but then I got tires after that, and I run back up to the field. So I really didn't expect to get back up there that quick, but yeah, it worked out good. So.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk to you about that EOL. It seemed like possibly some frustrated drivers out there, not to name names or anything, but is there any bad blood, or are you guys all just going to go into the next week's race and,
I don't know. I mean, I don't race. I've been racing the last 4, I think, but the last 3 I've been in, it's been the same guy grabbing him all the time about same stuff. So I don't know. I owned up to my mistake. I said I'll take the penalty. I think he was already hurt. So, I don't think I hurt his race that bad, but whatever. So
Yeah, absolutely. A great finish to your race, though, getting second place out here by 1/10 of a second. Great points day. I know you said you're not really looking for points, but if you were, it was a great points
yeah,
day for you.
yeah.
Anyone like to thank or shout out before we get you out of here?
No, I ain't got no sponsor, nothing. But
All right. Well,
appreciate it.
congratulations on the second place finish, and thanks for the interview.
Thanks.
That was Kyle Reynolds getting it done in second place. And last person I want to talk to, who, like I said, we've been talking to a lot lately, is going to be Chris McCullough getting the win out here. Hey, Chris, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, what a race that was and what a finish. I know earlier on in the race, we saw you and Kenny both holding down 1-2, and unfortunately, there was some lap traffic that kind of ruined that, but you were able to avenge it and get a win for the team. You want to talk us through how that late race run felt?
Yeah, first off, I got to apologize to Mr. Warner. I got into him out of, I think, 4. I just got tight, and he was a little lower than I thought he'd be. Got to apologize to him. But, yeah, I just took tires at the best time. I just got lucky, to be honest. I mean, I felt like I was a top 3 car all night. I was real decent on the long run. I didn't have the takeoff speed. I needed 6, 7, 8 laps to where my line really picks in. But yeah, I just had things go my way tonight. I know Kenny got unlucky. I seen that coming as soon as I seen him go high. I knew he was dead.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate one, but I want to talk to you about the momentum you're carrying because you kind of called your shot last week after that great finish at Talladega and, said it was a good track for you here at Bristol, and it was. You got the win. Now we're going into Las Vegas next week. You're coming off of a win and a second place finish. How do you feel with your chances at Las Vegas?
I'm looking. Feel like maybe a top 10ish. I haven't turned many laps at Vegas in the ARCA car, so we will see how it goes. But top 10. I think it's feasible, and the way it is to get in the chase, this win really helps me. So I think I'm pretty good to make the chase, as long as I don't have a disastrous week next week. So we're just gonna try to get a top 10 and then just see where our speed is.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a great points day out here tonight for you and your team. Anyone like to thank or shout out before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I gotta thank you guys for broadcasting. I gotta thank Race Control. And I feel for the admins tonight doing the review.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I gotta thank them. I gotta thank Kenny. I know he's had a string of bad luck here, even though he won last week. So hopefully we'll get some positive momentum heading to the chase, and hopefully I'll be talking to you the rest of the season.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. But as for tonight, congratulations on the win, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too. That was Chris McCullough getting it done, taking the checkered flag here at Bristol. That's back-to-back wins for MMS, Luke. What a night tonight was.
Yeah, what a night it was, and what a night for MMS indeed. They were able to secure that, top finish out there despite having a bit of a rough start out here. It was an exciting race out here. I think we got a good stint of about all we could really ask for here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've got to agree, Luke. I mean, it's Bristol, baby. It's just short track racing. I know a lot of guys in the chat tonight are going to be quoting Denny if I had to take a guess, but it seems like we got the Bristol experience in full effect here tonight. We didn't see that long green flag run we wanted, but we saw some tempers flared, we saw some bumping, we saw some hard racing, and at the end we saw a very good finish between a few cars out there. But I think that's gonna about do it for Bristol. I'm very excited for Vegas. One of my favorite tracks to watch. Not very fond of it as far as racing goes, but I'll get more into that next week. But as for tonight, I'd like to thank Slightly Dangerous Racing for coming alongside us tonight. Always appreciated. I'd like to thank Omar for putting this on, Logan on race control tonight, everyone else at WWSS that makes this possible. I'd also like to thank all our viewers for coming out, and lastly, the drivers for making this one an exciting one. Got anything else, Luke?
I think you about covered all grounds, Kevin. We'll see you guys all next week at Las Vegas. Good night, race fans.
Peace.